This is Sky News with Dermot Murnahan.
Good afternoon. Sir Richard Branson's Virgin Trains has lost its battle to hold on to its West Coast Mainline franchise. The government awarded the new 13-year contract to run trains between London and Scotland to First Group. It already operates Great Western and ScotRail. The First Group outbid Virgin with an offer of £5.5 billion to run the service. Well, Sir Richard, Virgin Group's founder, said in a statement, to have bid more would have involved dramatic cuts to customer quality and considerable fare rises, which we were unwilling to entertain. Sir Richard went on to say, we also did not want to risk letting everybody down with almost certain bankruptcy at some time during the franchise, as happened to GNER and National Express, who overbid on the East Coast Mainline. He continued, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. When will the Department for Transport learn, Sir Richard said?
Well, certainly this current Virgin franchise had its problems. It was renegotiated during the course of the franchise. But we believe that the process that we have gone through to select the new franchisee is robust. We have tested very extensively the assumptions that First have used in putting forward their bid, and we have included as part of the deal £265 million in bonds and guarantees to cover any risks appropriately, and that's more than we've ever received in relation to any other franchise since privatisation.
It allows the new franchise holder, whoever that was actually, to hike fares for up to 11% every year of the contract, to cut staff, to cut things like CCTV, and to do those sorts of things which I think passengers would not welcome. And I think the other thing to be said is we need assurances from ministers that they haven't just been blinded by the size of the payment that's been promised, and that they've looked at this much more in the round.
But First Group are confident about the robustness of their business plan. This is what their Chief Executive, Tim O'Toole, has had to say. Our bid also delivers value for taxpayers by returning premiums to the government, underpinned by sustainable growth in passenger numbers and revenues from the utilisation of significant available capacity. He goes on to say the new franchise will provide an economic return for our shareholders and is value enhancing from day one. Well, he's right. Let's talk to our business reporter, Tig Enright, at London's Euston Station. We'll find out, first of all, Tig, what passengers feel about all this. Have they been much moved by who runs it?
A mixture of opinions, but of course this is arguably the most important rail line in the country. It connects some of the country's biggest cities, from London Euston here all the way to Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool and Glasgow, and it carries 30 million passengers every year. That's more than doubled under Virgin Train stewardship. And the management are pretty bemused at having lost this contract. They point out that they have a 91% customer satisfaction rating. It's the highest in the country, they say, and it's being passed on to a company which they claim has the lowest such rating. Here's what passengers we spoke to today had to say about it.
I think it's a very great shame. I think Virgin Trains, whenever I have gone on them, have been excellent. It's a bad opportunity. It's very sad.
There's always room for competition, and that will be passed on to customers, which is, I believe, the right way to go about business, especially for the customers, and it's all about customer interest in the end.
Virgin Trains are so much better than most trains, so that if they go downhill now, I think that would be quite annoying, because obviously Virgin have done a lot to make trains better because they've been a private company.
I would much rather see it say British Rail on it and forget all the private companies and it go back nationalised. Take away all the private ownership, all the profiteering and all the fat cats sitting running it.
This question, Tig, I suspect you're going to tell me only time will tell, but those business claims. Sir Richard Branson for Virgin saying, almost inevitable bankruptcy, and that First Group have overpaid for the bid, but First Group saying there's a lot to play for, there's capacity there that they can exploit and grow passenger numbers.
Yeah, there are a lot of unknowns on this. I mean, as part of the new contract, First Group is going to increase capacity by 25% on this route, so perhaps that could add to the profitability of the route. As you say, only time will tell. Virgin, it has to be said, wasn't too far behind in terms of the scale of the bid. They offered 4.8 billion to First Group's 5.5, but they said that to bid any more, well, they would have had to increase fares and cut costs and customer service. First Group appears convinced that it can both cut fares and improve customer service, but of course history has taught us that bidders can over-promise and under-deliver. First Group themselves have decided to hand back the Great Western franchise 3 years early, surrendering for the government an £800 million premium that would have been payable to continue that contract. Clearly First Group didn't think that there was any profitability left in it. And of course we've seen on the East Coast Mainline 2 private operators giving up partway through their contracts. That line has effectively been renationalised. The government, though, appears convinced that in this case history won't repeat itself.
OK, Tig, thank you. Tig Enright at Euston Station in central London.